this year, and it reads, the Manzanar Committee, Sue Kunitomi Embrey Legacy Award, presented to Aiko Herzig Yoshinaga for dedication to the truth. And the date was, the pilgrimage date, April 30th, 2011. Aiko, can you stand up?
Now what I did because of what other people had already laid the path for me. You know, Michi Wagon, William Hori, Dr. Hanson, Dr. Hata, all these people had done a lot of work, and I just built upon it. So I have to acknowledge, and I need to acknowledge and thank them for all the work they did, just like Nadine Hata, who fought for the words concentration camp for Manzanar. And I want to congratulate Manzanar Committee for being the first camp committee to push for preservation of the 10 different camps as sites, historic sites, and to use the appropriate words, concentration camp. You know, many people object to that, and we've been hearing a lot more about it recently, but let's say it like it was. You know, when you're not allowed to leave the camp or enter the camp, and you have to have permission to leave your own home, what else is it but a prison or a concentration camp? I consider it sort of like an American-style apartheid. We were not permitted to live in certain areas, and were confined to a specific area, just like in South Africa, until they were able to get rid of it. Let's hope that with the educational work being done by, thank goodness, all these young people who are picking up the cudgel and leading the fight now, like Gan, and all you young folks, that now the American public is going to learn more and more about this, and perhaps be able to face the truth and admit, even though redress happened, there's some admission, a lot of people don't know about it, that the government did such a grievous wrong against innocent minority group. And I'm very proud of the role that my son-in-law, Warren Furutan, played to get some of this work started way back, how many years ago, 30 years ago or more. And I'm glad to be part of this wonderful family that I have here. Having lived on the East Coast, I really miss the Japanese American community, having grown up here, but then after the camps, having gone to live on the East Coast, in New York actually, for about 30 years, and then moving down to the Washington, D.C. area, and then starting my research work with the Commission. And I'm glad that the Commission issued this report that helped Manzanar to get the preservation site started and to set forth the approval for using the word concentration camp to designate those camps that we lived in as such. I'm so happy that everybody has been really supportive. During the redress movement, the Manzanar Committee did a lot of work, and there were a lot of little different groups like NCRR, Redress Reparations Coalition, and NCJAR, the class action lawsuit. Everybody did their bit to help push for the redress. And I think the Commission's findings that the government did indeed perpetuate the wrong, initiate the wrongful act against an innocent minority group.
Whoa.
The Commission's report was very helpful. Actually, it was the reason that we got redress. I do want to stress the fact that very few people know the author of the Personal Justice Denied, which was the report of the Commission, was Angus Macbeth, a wonderful man who immediately recognized the injustice that happened. He was a lawyer, but he knew very little about the wartime happenings against Japanese Americans. When I found that out when he first came on board the Commission, I was horrified. how we're going to have a man who didn't know much about it to lead this study, this investigation. But this man was terrific. He immediately saw the constitutional violations the government participated in denying us our rights. And he was very, very a wonderful leader. On top of that, when the redress movement started, we had a great guy in Robert Bratt, who was the first administrator of the Office of Redress Administration, who asked Jack and me to help locate as many people as possible who would be eligible to get this compensation. So Jack and I were really pleased to be asked to participate. And of course they paid something like well over the estimated number of people who were eligible to receive the token compensation. Now Bob Bratt was one who has not been recognized enough by our community, but he had stretched the Civil Liberties Act of 1988 to include as many people, Japanese Americans as possible, who were denied their rights. And he's another unrecognized hero in my eyes that has not been acknowledged enough in our community. And one day I hope that we can do something about it. Also, I had a lot of friends in the National Archive who helped me to dig out information that I was able to present to the Commission, which laid the basis for the report that it issued to Congress, and that helped the Congress to pass the redress law. So there's so much to say, and I could go on and on.